Hi guys, M.V.K here. Welcome, welcome as always. I'm here for the first time to do a live recap review. In a sense, thought I'd give it a shot, and here I am to do it. I'm here to give my thoughts, also review, recap on this week's episode of The Flash. Like as you guys know, I do the Flash recaps pretty much every week whenever The Flash comes on. So I'm here to do episode 14 called Fallout. And you guys can, leave your comments in the description, or also you guys can even ask me questions about, this week's episode as well. But not going to take too much of your time, guys. So let's pretty much get into it. This episode has been, the Flash series has been very consistent. Every episode upon every episode has been very, 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 very good, and it does make you want more. You want to see where they're going to go with the characters. They're not rushing certain things. They're not shoving certain, ideas down our throats and things like that. So it is kind of, a little, and it's kind of funny because it's the fact that the same people that do Arrow do this. But anyway, we saw this picks up right where the last episode left off, and we see that the Firestorm, the nuclear man, and that's my phone going off once again. Sorry about that. You see that Firestorm, the nuclear man, is about to similarly go into meltdown. He explodes, and we see Barry and Kate and Kat basically running away, getting from the blast radius. Unfortunately, it wasn't nuclear. Everything is fine, and then that's where we come back to see that Dr. Stern and Ronnie have been separated, so they're back to being normal, and that was kind of interesting as well. But it also comes to the fact that though they are separated, there's some, I guess you could say, side effects or ramifications of them being together for so long, and we see that throughout the episode. And I thought that was really interesting, keeping kind of true to the mythos of Firestorm, especially when Dr. Stern and Ronnie were together, because remember, there have been other people merged together to be Firestorm. But I was really impressed that they kept that. And we see Dr. Stern, he has a craving for pizza, and which he doesn't like. He doesn't like pizza. He's getting more Ronnie's, cravings. We also found out that when they were together, more of the doctor's personality was in control of the body, and there's kind of a little bit of animosity between them because of that. And I thought that right there was kind of interesting too. It's like, okay, he's kind of upset about that. Ronnie's pissed, a little pissed, like, you kept me from her. You had us living under a bridge. You had us eating garbage. Things like that. It was kind of interesting. But of course, once again, there's more concern because of the fact that, how can I put it, General Clancy Brown's character is now on the search for them, and so that was one story that was going on, but still with the ramification of the two being separated as Firestorm. But then The other story, which is also good, is Joe taking Barry to his old house, and we get to, he's showing him the evidence and showing that the blood that was left is Barry's blood, but an older Barry. So basically showcasing that Barry went back in time somehow, and that's when it gets even more interesting, and they go to Dr. Wells and start asking, is time travel possible? Things like that, and can it be done? And I love Joe because he can't really keep up with Dr. Wells's, like, how he's presenting it to Joe, and Joe's like, huh? And so you got Cisco giving him, like, basically movies that deal with time travel. And he's like, think Terminator. Joe was like, oh, okay. Then Dr. Wells says something else, and Joe was like, huh? And then Cisco says, think Back to the Future. And he's like, oh, okay, I get it. So it gets more in depth into that, and then even more further, Barry goes to Dr. Stern and starts telling him, asking him about, time travel, and he wrote this big theoretical paper on it and everything, and it was really interesting as well. And that's where we really get to see the cravings for pizza, which was fun. However, one leads to another, and the good doctor is kidnapped by by the general, and it becomes like the general starts to torture Dr. Stern as almost like feels like almost like a POW, like he's just being tortured, and you're just seeing this, just no kind of remorse on the general's face. I mean, it's just him just doing whatever he can, and Ronnie is feeling that, as well. But the one thing that also it was a good drop was the fact that the general said, the last time I did this to a gorilla, and it was like, ooh, okay, all right, all right. He's done this before, and we do get to see basically Ronnie, he's writing, he's carving something on his, because he's trying to figure out where he is. Their presence is getting stronger. They're starting to know where one is, and he starts to carve, the wording where the good doctor is, and then so forth. The good doctor, Dr. Stern, starts to use Morse code to tell him the location, and of course that's where Barry runs in. And the general is ready for Barry, though. That's the thing. He did see Barry unmask, and that's why sometimes it's like Barry got to stop unmasking sometimes in front of people, or he thinking nobody sees him, and it's just like, oh, don't go down that route. So we get to see that, and basically Barry, they kind of freeze Barry, I guess, with like some kind of liquid nitrogen or so, and he has to vacuum it off. But the good doctor and Ronnie come back together as Firestorm, but this time it's very much homage to the classic Firestorm, where Ronnie is in control, the body is in control, but he can still mentally hear the good doctor's voice, and they kind of do their thing. It was really cool. But of course, they separate. They're able to separate. They give it a try once again. They separate, and still the doctor and Ronnie feel that they need to go off because they got to figure this out. And Dr. Stern is going to take him to see a colleague of theirs. But they merge back together and they fly off. But there was like 3 major stories going on in this episode. You got Barry in the time travel, the Firestorm situation, and of course, Iris's colleague now getting deeper into Wells's, maybe Wells know more than he's letting on and things like that. And Iris is kind of catching up on certain details of that, which was very interesting as well. But then, of course, it's that ending that just made it even better. The Reverse Flash, Dr. Wells, takes General Island and throws him into that familiar sewer system that we saw in the last episode. And then Reverse Flash actually removes his mask, and you clearly see it's Dr. Wells for all those who didn't play Captain Obvious, but it was him. And you starting to hear a voice, like telepathically, and then you see General Island like, my God, good dear God, and you see he's coming down, and he's like, no, God, and it just, and you see him walking down. He's walking down the tunnel, and you see him, and he just grabs the general, and then that's it. It just ends right there, and I was just like, ooh. And that is why, ladies and gentlemen, I've been saying the build-up with Grodd has been great. They have been building Grodd up so well, and it just makes you your mouth water for more. Like when he's fully in the episode completely, how is it going to play out? And that was just great. I love it. But also, this episode still plays on the fact that Barry, especially with Barry, he's feeling, of course, responsible that even his older self couldn't save his mother. You see, and that was also I like that they kind of played that up, like he goes back to save his mother, but he couldn't. He still couldn't. So now he's like aware of like somehow I'm gonna do that, but this time I'm not gonna fail. I'm gonna save my mother's life. Now, you got a heart that doesn't get you emotionally involved. I don't know what are you on? But that right there was just like, yeah, okay. He's ready. He's gonna up his game even more now. And it makes me wonder, will we see him, will we see, them really go more into the Speed Force and things like that? So, but Fallout was a good episode, really was. I very much enjoyed it, very much. Like I said, stellar. Flash has just been stellar on and on. Every episode just got better and better and better, in my opinion. But now we gotta wait till March 17th now for more Flash. But like I said, I did enjoy it, guys. I had really no big complaints. It just, the plot thickens even more, guys. So yeah, it was very, 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 very interesting indeed. And I got what I wanted, and it was good to see what I want, especially with Grodd, is seeing, is he going to be just a gorilla, or is he going to be telepathic? Will he have the telepathy, and I was right. He did. You actually hear him talking before he grabs the general, and I thought it was pretty funny because when I was watching the episode and Clancy Brown, when he was like, "But I had to laugh at that because that was pretty funny, very much funny indeed." He's like, dear God, dear God, and no, Grodd, and he just grabs him, and just pulls him in. So it definitely was fun, guys. So I thought it was good. Now, you guys, I'll leave the rest of you guys. You guys can ask me some questions you want about the episode. I will wrap this up soon. Didn't want to take too much of your time, guys. Hey Tony, how you doing? Invictus, Omnitron, how you doing? Let me answer some of your questions here as well. Omnitron, you say I wanted to see them tackle Captain Atom, one of my favorite DC heroes, and frankly, when the lights in the base started flickering, and I was tiptoeing on a Captain Atom. Yeah, I can agree with you, Omnitron, because for all those who don't know, General Eline Island is really kind of more centered in the Captain Atom. So it makes you wonder, will we see Captain Atom? You know, can they pull off Captain Atom? I wouldn't mind seeing that. I think as Arrow continues to go, hey Nathan, as Flash continues to go on and move on, I guarantee you we're going to see probably more names drop, more guest star heroes that would fit in this world because they're more centered around, you know, metahumans and superpowers. It can work here. I mean, sure, Arrow, they're getting Dreadbolt soon on Arrow, and that will be, I think, one of his first real super powered villains on the show. But definitely, it can be done. I really wish they had did with Arrow, and I digress, but with Arrow, they could have really did Brick very well with and have him with his rock skin. They could have easily said Brick was in Central City, got hit, got the rock skin, everything like that. Comebacks to Star City or Starling, bam, now he's trying to take over the Glaze. They could have easily centered that. But we do know that Vixen is going to be on both shows, even after her animated series. But Captain Atom, yes, could work. I will say that could work, definitely. I'm hoping they go with, of course, the more familiar Captain Atom, not the first, but Nathaniel. I think would be more suitable, meaning that he's more of a soldier. I really wish, I've said it before, I really wish they'd have kept Plastique around because she had that rogue-esque feel to her that I like, and you guys know me, I love Rogue, and I really wish they'd have kept that. I really wish she didn't die, but it's cool. Nonetheless. So let's see. Oh, Comic Mystic, thoughts on Iris seeing more and more of not feeling her. Oh, thoughts on Iris seeing more and more not feeling her each week. I wouldn't say I don't mind like seeing Iris. I'm fine with her. You know, what I don't like, what I do appreciate about Flash and the difference between Arrow is that they're not shoving the whole kind of relationship with Iris and Barry down our throats as what they do with Ollie and Felicity. It's almost like constant, every freaking episode. We're seeing that. But in this, in Flash, we don't see it as much. Sometimes we see Iris in her own world, and they don't even connect that sometimes. So yeah, we kind of see that at times. I'm trying to also say, what do you think the rumors that we'll see a version of Flashpoint with Barry trying to save his um uh I don't necessarily want a complete kind of rip off, you know, complete Flashpoint, but maybe a sense of it in terms of like some tweaks to it. But I wouldn't mind that. I mean, it'd be interesting to see where they can go. Will he save his mother and get his father out of jail for a crime? Of course, he did not commit. So yes, definitely. Um, okay, Invictus, you're saying he's not Reverse Flash. Now for all those who are fellow Flash fans, there have been different Reverse Flashes. Let's not forget that. Okay, so you're not too off, Tony. Not gonna lie about that. You're not that off. But as of right now, Wells is the Reverse Flash. He is that Flash, and somehow he is from the future somehow. But there have been other Reverse Flashes. Now, what I don't necessarily think it'd be a twist if there is a twist to the whole two speedsters that Barry saw that night when he saw his mother die. But it does make me more interested to see where they're going to go. Where's this leading up to? But as of right now, Grodd is coming, and that's definitely something I'm looking forward to. Definitely seeing how they're going to, because that was the biggest fear about this show for me, was being a big Flash fan that I am. It was like, okay, how much of his rogues gallery are we going to see on the big screen, on the small screen? Can they pull off? And the one individual that I was talking about was Grodd. I was like, can they pull off Grodd and make it legit? So far, they're making it legit. They are. So I like that. Like that very much. Let's see what else we have here. I'm trying to say a friend of yours said Booster Gold appearance since time travel was involved, but without Ted Cord around, I don't know if I want that. What do you think? Booster Gold on a Flash. It would be more logical here than on Smallville. Same thing with Blue Beetle, whichever Blue Beetle they go with. Once again, I'm hoping to see. Okay, before I end this, here are some characters I want to see on Flash. Black Lightning. I would love to see Mr. Terrific somehow. Static. I wish I could see Static, because the whole Flash feels like the Big Bang. It does feel like that. Maybe, hopefully, we'll see. Maybe. I really wish they could mention Jay Garrett, like, maybe an homage episode where maybe Barry. Oh, okay. Here's the deal. What if Barry, he starts to maybe learn how to time, go back, and he goes to a world where he wasn't the Flash, and it's Jay Garrett, and he protects Keystone City, which is right next to Central City. That would make my day right there. Let's see. But I don't necessarily think it's not possible, Omnitron, at all. I can't wait to see Grodd. Yeah, I can't wait to see Grodd. I'm looking forward to them to pull off Grodd. The other characters I'm looking forward to, so far out of all the Rogues gallery, and my favorite Rogues of the Rogues is Captain Cold. And I must admit, they have done a pretty decent job with him. Wentworth Miller does a good job playing him. There are times where I'm like, that's not Captain Cold. He would never do that. Captain Cold has a code that he lives by. He doesn't kill women, doesn't kill children. He doesn't like any of his members doing drugs. He has a code that he kind of stands by. And there was there were some things in there that I may have questioned, like, what? When he flipped that train over the last time, I was like, Cole would never do that. But I'm looking forward to seeing how his sister Glider is going to look. I'm hoping they pull off Mirror Master, the real Weather Wizard coming back. Yeah, there's a lot of characters I'm looking forward to, and show's been picked up for a second season, and that's why, guys, once again, And yes, that is why, guys, I feel that as much as I would want, I'm not really feeling this whole Flash movie. The Morty casting, Barry Allen. I've come so used to Mr. Gustin as Barry. Now when I go on the big screen and watch the Flash and I see this guy as Flash, I'm like, no. And then it's like, what are they gonna do that the show won't do? Besides maybe better special effects and things like that. Because by the time that movie comes out, the show, hopefully, God willing, will be in its what, fifth, sixth season. Hopefully, it lasts as long. I hope it lasts long. Indeed. So it's gonna be tough for me when you go for me watching the Flash movie. Uh, let me see. I think we'll see Mr. Terrific since Professor mentioned someone in Pittsburgh, and Holt does work in Pittsburgh sometimes. Yeah, I'm hoping it's Michael Holt. Um, you know, they could easily pull off Michael Holt in a show like this. I mean, Mr. Terrific really doesn't have powers. His abilities come from technology. You know, I would love to see him walk and his T-spheres are around him and he's blind to like like cameras and everything, electrical, cameras. He's blind to anything electrical. He can pass through anything. They won't see him, and I would just love to see him in that. You can't tell me they can't pull off the traditional pre-52 Mr. Terrific look and not make that look legit. And all I want to hear him say is one time, fair play. I love that. That's just so cool. And Omnitron also says, yes, Jay Garrett showing up. JSA fan for life right here. Yes, I've always said this, and I've been saying it for years. I've even put it one time on my Facebook. Is it time for DC Animations to do a JSA animated movie? And people comment and say the same thing. Yes. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching, and thank you for the guys that came out to view this. Perhaps I'll do another live Flash recap again. This was fun. It was fun to do it. Didn't want to take too much of your time, guys, but Fallout was great. Now we just gotta wait to March for to return. But I still got Agent Carter, and that has been great. Gotham, I gotta catch up on Gotham, guys. I'm not really feeling that the Clown is coming, and I'm not feeling that the Graysons are already on the show. And that's the one thing about Gotham I have. It's like, this is supposed to be the origin of how Bruce becomes Batman, and you got Bruce on a iPod. It's like, what the hell? Like, things like that. Can't wait to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. return. Ooh, yeah, and of course Arrow. Yeah, of course Arrow. I'm glad Ali told Thea. I gotta watch this week's Arrow, guys. I did not watch it yet. Thank God for DVR. Yeah. But other than that, guys, let me see. Let me just read you guys' comments. I see some comments here. Let me just read them. I want to get them out there. Don't think I'm neglecting it. Omnitron, you says, as for heroes I want to see out of that's you're talking about the JSA. Love the show. I just think that Wells is not a reverse Flash. Real well, I'm not gonna say, but you did see the last episode, right? I mean, you did see him pull the mask off, right? I mean, he's walking. We saw him move fast. So, I mean, could he be a Flash? I could understand where you're coming from, Tony. That's why I said I understand that. But if he's not, he's not. I mean, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I've been wrong before. If you're wrong, hey, I'm not gonna say, see, Tony, I told you so. No. Hey, okay. Now, Omnitron, you say elongated man. Ooh, I'd take that. I'd take that. And last but not least, I want to say this before. Please, NBC, move Constantine to sci-fi. Don't let that show go, please. I've been enjoying that show, and since you own sci-fi, just move it over there. Okay, it's I guarantee you it'll still have the same following and probably even gain more. Especially if anything, if it moves rumor-wise, they're gonna change the name to Hellblazer. Okay, so I'm gonna end it right there, guys. Thank you for coming out and listening to me rant and do my recap of the episode. I will see you guys next time with another recap of The Flash. And stay tuned. Keep it real, as always. And stay in the Speed Force because, like me, guys, I am enjoying the ride. Y'all take care.